You're watching On Course with Andy Brickley.
Welcome to On Course, arriving in style, convertible style. And we're arriving at Willow Bend in Mashpee on Cape Cod. And our guest today is best-selling author and Cape Cod native Casey Sherman. Casey's latest effort is the #1 sports book in America, and it deals with Tom Brady and his fight for redemption surrounding Deflategate. Not sure what kind of golfer Casey is, but I have a feeling because he grew up on the Cape that this is familiar territory. Let's go meet Casey Sherman.
Cape Cod is heaven on earth.
I'm going on the Flat Rock. Where is it?
My teachers thought prison, jail. That was a surprise bestseller, and I thought, oh, you know what, I can do this. No funny stuff now.
Nothing but funny out here.
It looks like the DeLorean in Back to the Future.
I want to talk to you about the latest book that you wrote.
Sure.
Involving Tom Brady.
They tried to derail this guy's career.
Anything in the works for Pete Brady's story as far as big screen?
Nice. Yeah! Oh, there you go. Look at that.
Standing on the first tee of the Bay Course here at Willow Bend, and we have a very interesting guest today. He's a local guy, native of Cape Cod, best-selling author. In fact, right now has the #1 sports book in America, and it has to do with TB12, Tom Brady. Our guest, Casey Sherman. Casey.
Hey. Nice seeing you.
Yeah, nice to see you.
Right,
How you doing?
Good, good, good.
So you're from here? From the Cape?
Yeah, 7 generations deep here on Cape Cod, so this is home for me.
All right, well, we're using Cape Cod as our theme for today's show. We got to set a bet. Now, I don't know what kind of golfer you are. We've had all kinds of golfers on the show, myself included, but we need to bet something. You got any ideas?
It's got to be something about Cape Cod. So, I mean, you know, Cape Cod chips might be on the menu.
All right, I think that's fair.
All right.
All right.
Let's do it.
Come back. Let's go get them.
All right.
You ever want to see a bad shot, just look.
Very happy with a shot like that. People need to come to Cape Cod because Cape Cod is heaven on earth.
Make sure you get the water in the frame.
You've got the beaches, you've got the great weather, a very casual, relaxed atmosphere.
Have somebody grab our cart.
There's a reason why they call it Cape Cod casual, because everybody is laid back.
And have somebody grab the cart, please. Never mind. This really isn't a 5-iron shot.
And that's what it's all about down here. It's relaxation. And when you cross that bridge to Cape Cod for the first time, you can actually feel yourself exhaling. I grew up here, and I'm blessed to call this place home.
What were you like growing up down on the Cape?
I was a madman, wild man. My teachers thought prison, jail.
What were you doing?
Just, you know, fun kid
Finding
stuff.
trouble?
Yeah, finding trouble. Wasn't a real good student. I mean, I was interested in what I was interested in. So history and English were really my passions. I had to apply myself differently and started to write.
When did that pick up momentum?
Sure. I was really thrust into the spotlight as a writer and as a journalist because my aunt, 19-year-old Mary Sullivan, was the youngest and final victim of the Boston Strangler case. So I grew up with that legacy here on Cape Cod, and my mother had questions about the guilt or innocence of the so-called Boston Strangler himself, Albert DeSalvo, and those questions led me to journalism school at BU, led me to reinvestigate the case for well over a decade. That became my first book. That was a surprise bestseller, and I thought, oh, you know what, I can do this, and been doing it ever since.
So you got brothers and sisters?
I do. I've got an older brother, and he really helps me generate some of the stories that I've written about. He was the one that came up with the idea to write probably, I would say, my best-selling book to this point, which is The Finest Hours. And that's about a true story about a Coast Guard rescue that happened in 1952 right off the coast of Chatham, Massachusetts.
Rock Harbor.
Rock Harbor, exactly. The 36-500. Which is a little tiny lifeboat 36 feet long, and it was used in the greatest small boat rescue in American history. So at the heart of the finest hours is 4 guys given a suicide mission, told to go out. You have to go out, but you don't have to come back, and they pull off the rescue of a lifetime. They were going over at one point in the rescue waves that were 60 feet high in a 36-foot lifeboat. And I asked Bernie Weber, the guy that Chris Pine plays in the movie, I said, Bernie, I couldn't do what you did. He goes, oh yeah, you could. If you were in the Coast Guard and you had an order, you were out there. The boat was designed only to hold 12. They came back with 36 people on that boat. It's unbelievable. They actually tried to recreate the rescue decades later, and they tried to fit 36 Coast Guard cadets on that boat. They couldn't do it. And I told Bernie Weber that as well. He goes, well, you know, fear does a lot for you. If you had to be on that boat, you were on that damn boat.
Oh, it's an awesome book. I love it.
I appreciate it. It's a great story.
I'm going on the Flat Rock. Now, this is for TV entertainment purposes. Where is it? I am in the Hazard. Can't ground your club. Next to Impossible Shot. Can barely see it. Water over the green. Anything else to deal with? Well, that's pretty darn good. He's a troubleshooter. Hit the pin.
Ooh.
Casey, I played at a lot of different places when I played in the NHL, and most everybody that I came in contact with said, Boston, well, that's sports and politics, right?
Yeah.
And I guess that's not too far from the truth. How big a sports fan are you?
Oh, you know, growing up here, you know, watching you as a fan when I was a kid. I'm sorry, but you're a great player. I'm a huge Bruins fan. Love the Red Sox, Celtics, obviously. The Patriots have always been a passion of mine as well. And I think when you live in Boston, you need to know your sports, and people do here.
And we'll get to this a little later in the round. I want to talk to you about the latest book that you wrote,
Sure.
involving Tom Brady. What drives you when you watch a football game? Like, how do you watch a game, and what do you like best about it when you're watching it?
Drama. As a writer and a storyteller, you know, those are the kind of stories that I gravitate to. I think we're lucky where we live and where we work, you know, from Ted Williams to Bob Orr to Tom Brady. You're looking at 3 of the biggest icons in the entire world, and we have them here. It's Shakespearean in so many ways. We really uncovered the dark side of the NFL and how they targeted this guy and tried to ruin his career.
The Par 3 Third Degree is brought to you by both Copeland Toyota and Copeland Chevrolet. You can count on Copeland. Our host today is Willow Bend, a community located in Mashpee on Cape Cod. Willow Bend is much more than a club. It's a community that offers a resort lifestyle unlike anything in New England. It's a place where all kinds of families live, both year-round and seasonally in the summer. The amenities at Willow Bend are top-notch. 27 holes of immaculately maintained golf, an Olympic-sized swimming pool, incredible fitness facilities, and a great tennis program. The dining is far beyond what you'll find in your average private club, with the grill room and Cafe Amici serving creative and fresh fare with an emphasis on local sourcing and freshness. Homes at Willow Bend take many forms and style. From grand homes on Shoestring Bay to new townhomes and condominiums at Willow Bend Village that have sold quickly. There's a perfect home for everyone in this community. Willow Bend offers people the opportunity to be together, make memories that will last a lifetime, and enjoy the best things in life in a beautiful, natural place. On Course with Andy Brickley is brought to you in part by Poland Spring Sparkling, real spring water and refreshing bubbles. Pulled up to the course in a Chevrolet from Copeland.
Oh, yeah?
Convertible, beautiful car. And then we get to ride around in this thing. This is like...
It's a space age, right?
This is
You can take this on the
unbelievable.
highway. It looks like the DeLorean in Back to the Future.
unbelievable.
I mean, it's, you know, from the speedometer, brake lights, you've got cooler right here.
Yeah, built-in fridge. in the
Built-in
front.
fridge. You can live in this thing, Brick.
It could hold 6 waters.
Exactly. I'll be having one of those waters right after we get off the course.
This can go about 40 miles an hour.
What do you think I'm holding on so tightly every time you put
I
the
mean, it
foot
is.
to the pedal? And you're going to golf badly, you may as well golf on the best possible cart. Hey, we locked and loaded for this.
The punishment has been levied.
NFL dropped an absolute bombshell on the Patriots today.
So I got to ask you about the book about Brady. How did that come about, first of all?
First of all, I mean, we all watched that incredible drama unfold, Deflategate, and culminated in the greatest come-from-behind win in Super Bowl history. And when the confetti was dancing on Tom Brady's head, I got a call from my Hollywood screenwriters, and they said, Casey, if you write the book, we'll adapt it into a screenplay and make it into another big feature film. And then I got together with my buddy Dave Wedge, and we started to talk, all right, what is the story here? It's Shakespearean in so many ways. We really uncovered the dark side of the NFL and how they targeted this guy and tried to ruin his career.
Give me the lowlights or highlights of that darkness that you speak of.
You know, Deflategate was much ado about nothing. It was a minor equipment violation that became a capital murder case, and Tom Brady was the prime suspect. Now, to talk about 12 in Deflategate, you really have to go all the way back to Spygate in 2007. That was a real legitimate sports controversy. The Patriots were caught videotaping signals from other teams. Now, the NFL, Roger Goodell, the commissioner at the time, he was very close to Robert Kraft, the owner of the Patriots. And there was collusion there, and I use that word very purposely because Goodell really protected the Patriots, destroyed videotaped evidence that could have incriminated the team even deeper into that controversy. Now, you look at all the other NFL owners at the time, and they're seeing this happen. And they tell Goodell, okay, if this ever happens again, you have to go after the Patriots and Tom Brady with both fists. Reason why we feel like it's very Shakespearean because Bob Kraft was Goodell's father figure. And in order for Roger Goodell to retain the power that he had to slay his father. He had to go after the Patriots, and that's exactly what he did.
Did the league offer anything to Brady so he wouldn't have to serve the suspension?
Absolutely, and we broke that news in our book. The league actually offered for him to pay $1 million fine, but he had to publicly go out and throw his equipment guys under the bus, tell the world that they tampered with footballs. Tom Brady didn't take that deal.
So concisely sum it up for me, your personal feelings about Brady and Deflategate.
It was a sting operation from the NFL's point of view. They tried to derail this guy's career, but it gave Brady the fuel and the fire to pull off one of the greatest sports performances in history. I
find this fascinating, and I'm curious to get your opinion on what's going on with the Patriots right now as far as that triangle and the trust and the accountability between the three of them.
I tell people that, you know, it took only 8 years for the Beatles to break up. You know, the Patriots are in year 19 with that trifecta of Belichick, Kraft, and Brady. We believe that Kraft and Brady have a very solid relationship, and I think that culminated in the trade of Jimmy Garoppolo that shocked everybody last season. We obviously don't believe that Belichick and Brady have a strong relationship or partnership right now, and I wouldn't be surprised if the Patriots win the Super Bowl this coming season that one of those guys walks away. Come on, baby. Go! Nice. Look at that.
Casey, we talked about a number of books that you wrote that made it to the big screen. Is that a possibility for the latest book about Brady?
We're very confident that 12 will be a film. The question I get every day is, who's going to play 12?
Yeah, who's going to play?
You know, people ask me, well, it's got to be Wahlberg or it's got to be Damon. Now, Brick, I'm a short guy. You know, Matt Damon would look like me in shoulder pads playing 12. That's not going to happen. You know, Tom Brady has to be over 6 feet tall, and he's got to be able to throw a mean spiral. So, you know, we're looking at guys like Chris Pine, who, you know, we worked with for the finest hours. Armie Hammer, who's 6'5" and just a great athlete. In terms of, you know, who would play Belichick, it's got to be Tommy Lee Jones. You know, we got to make that happen. So it's part of the fun process of making a film and finding out who's going to play these guys.
Who's going to play Kraft? Who's going to play the commissioner?
Well, okay, Kraft. You know, I heard William Shatner has actually been eager to play Bob Kraft.
Makes me think of Boston Legal.
Yeah, exactly. But just you know, Captain Kirk, he could play anything. I love it. Yeah. Roger Goodell. You know, somebody that has that diabolical, you know, menacing intelligence, I think, is the guy that we're ultimately going to go for Goodell.
And chorus, take 2.
Ooh. Yeah! Oh, there you go. Look at that.
Anything in the works for Pete Brady's story as far as big screen?
Glad you mentioned that.
On Course with Andy Brickley is brought to you in part by Willow Bend, extraordinary living on Cape Cod.
and Sam Adams, the official beer of On Course with Andy Brickley.
You're watching On Course with Andy Brickley.
How have you enjoyed the course so far?
I'm not a great golfer, but at least the course looks amazing.
No, we started the round talking about a bet.
Oh, yeah.
Down a couple with just 3 to go.
Excuse me, gentlemen. If I introduce myself, I'm Mike Vidal, the director of golf here at Willowbend.
Hey, Mike.
Welcome.
How you
Mike,
doing?
Casey Sherman, how you doing, pal?
Welcome.
Tell us about the golf course.
Well, the golf course itself, we have 27 holes. We have 3 different nines. So the nice thing is we have 3 different rotations that they can play on any given day. We've got lots of different sets of tees for all the different types of handicaps.
Well, we're on 6, and I'm looking, and you could see some water down on the left, down towards the green.
So that's it's a 90-degree dogleg left. So the smart play here is just to go straight out at the bunkers, puts you in the flat spot of the fairway. The second shot here is one of the most beautiful shots on the whole golf course, just because it does take you right back out to the water.
You gonna play with us?
Oh, I'll play a little scramble.
What do you think?
I think so.
All
right.
You're
Sounds
on.
good.
Let's do it.
All right.
Good swing. Come on, partner, let's go get him.
It's a good-looking shot.
Wow. It's a Cape Cod view right there. Look at that.
That's awesome.
Amazing.
Come on now, Case. We gotta make this putt. What do you got? Yeah, it did move that way.
No funny stuff now.
It's nothing but funny out here.
Knock it close.
That's for the win. Oh, you're a gentleman. Thanks
Pleasure,
again.
sir.
That was
Thank you
great.
so much.
Casey, it seems like everybody I know took part in that ice bucket challenge,
Yeah.
you know, for Pete. What's your connection with Pete Frady?
I mean, my connection originally was I put the bucket of ice water over my head like everybody did, sent in my donation to ALS. I got a call from a mutual friend of ours, the Frady's family and myself, and they said, you know, Pete's got a great story. You know, he'd love for you to write his book. We embedded ourselves with the Frady's family for a year and wrote such a wonderful story about a family's love. The Ice Bucket Challenge raised $220 million for ALS research. You know, what he did for the world is phenomenal.
Yeah, anything in the works for Pete Frady's story as far as big screen?
Glad you mentioned that. Yeah, so that is actually being turned into a major motion picture.
Oh, it is?
Right now. We're going to be producing this film. The script is done. It's incredible. And it's also a beautiful love story with his wife, Julie. It's, you know, she was a senior at BC when he was diagnosed. She did not have to, you know, share that life with Pete. And Pete, you know, when he was diagnosed, he had to break that news to Julie for the first time, and he thinks that Julie's going to leave. She says, okay, well, I need you to take me home. And Pete thought, I get it, Julie, I get it. And I get choked up when I say this. Julie said, you don't get it, Pete. Take me home because I'm moving all of my stuff out of my parents' house and I'm moving in with you. You're my life now. And they've been together ever since. It's a love affair for the ages.
Boston Strong, another book effort by you. Tell me more about that.
It was a story about, you know, the heroes and the survivors. Yes, we had to touch on the Tsarnaev brothers who committed those crimes, but our story was really one about hope and inspiration. We followed almost, I would say, 100 survivors for a year after the attacks and really got a chance to get to know who they were and what types of challenges they faced every single day, and that's the story we ended up writing.
And what's the overwhelming feeling that you get after going through that process?
Just incredible respect for the human condition. You know, you get a crime like that, and out of it rises the ashes of hope and beauty.
How did you connect with Mark Wahlberg?
Boston Strong focuses on the Wahlberg character, who's a real-life guy Danny Keeler. And his job was to be a babysitter, to keep people in the bars or out of the bars and just keep the peace during Red Sox parades, Celtics parades, you name it. And he's given that assignment to be the commander on Boylston Street for the marathon. It was Danny's decision to get all of the video cameras, all the surveillance cameras that they could find on Boylston Street, because he knew our guys are on those video cameras. And sure enough, that's how the FBI was able to identify the Tsarnaev brothers so quickly.
Oh, so one final question before we settle the bet on the last hole, on the last green. If you were to choose your greatest accomplishment so far in your life?
Greatest accomplishment in my life, it's easy, being the dad of 2 girls.
Yeah.
That is it. That's seeing those girls grow up to be the beautiful women inside and outside that they are. That's the greatest accomplishment. Professionally, it's the ability to tell stories and share stories and make an impact. People still, email me and contact me and say, this movie or this book changed my life. And when I hear that, I don't think about the writing I did. I think about the heroes. So it's been a thrill of a lifetime.
Oh, nice putt.
Finally.
Yeah, what a finish.
Thank you, man.
Good match, buddy.
I appreciate
Good
it.
match.
A
You
lot
know
of
what?
fun.
Let's go get a bag of chips, okay?
I'm with you. All right.
If you could use one word to describe the ultimate story, it would be...
You're watching On Course with Andy Brickley.
The 19th hole is brought to you by Sam Adams, the official beer of On Course with Andy Brickley. Casey, we typically finish the show with some form of a lightning round. It's 5 quick questions. So first question is, if you could have a beer with anybody in history, dead or alive, who might that person be?
Oh, Ernest Hemingway.
Why?
Just because he's my literary hero, and he sounds like a lot of fun to hang out with, especially in Paris.
What has been your favorite book to read?
A Movable Feast, again, another Hemingway classic. I read it, at least once a year.
If you could use one word to describe the ultimate story, it would be...
Passion. And that can mean anything. Those are the greatest stories to either write or read, in my opinion.
We talked a lot about TB12. Do you have a favorite Brady moment?
Super Bowl against Atlanta, when all the pressure's on him and the game slowed down for him. It was beautiful to watch.
If you could write your next book about a great Boston sports moment, what would that be?
I'm actually thinking about writing a book about Ted Williams and his relationship with John Glenn. We're flying mates in the Korean War, and seeing how their friendship grew over their lives is something I'm actually interested in taking a look at.
Let me know if you write that.
I will.
I need a little salt and something to wash it down with.
Yes.
Shall we do it?
Salt and suds.
Let's go.
Do it. All right, excellent. Well, Mr. Brickley, I'm a man of my word. Here are your chips.
You are accountable. Looks like there's enough to go around.
You mind? Absolutely.
Yeah, have at it. Cape Cod chips. All I need now is a little Poland Spring to go with it.
A little something, actually.
On Course with Andy Brickley is brought to you by Willow Bend, extraordinary living on Cape Cod. Sam Adams, Poland Spring Sparkling, real spring water and refreshing bubbles. And both Copeland Toyota and Copeland Chevrolet, you can count on Copeland.